Hi, my name is Shannon Jimenez, and this is my narrative speech for Gulf Coast Community College public speaking class. Today I'm going to talk to you about my career in the fire service, starting off as a volunteer and eventually becoming a paid firefighter. How many people out there have ever thought about becoming a firefighter? I can honestly tell you it's not something I thought about initially when I was growing up. Not to say you can't ask other people what their opinion on it is, because they'll probably tell you that they've dreamed of it ever since they were a young child. I actually never even thought about it until I moved up to Northwest Florida back in the early 90s. From experience, I can tell you that the job is very rewarding, but it is dangerous, and fire does not discriminate against you whether you're a career firefighter or a volunteer. My first initial experience started in 1993. And over the years, I've been very blessed to have worked with some of the most knowledgeable people in the fire service today, and they still are dedicating their lives to their communities every day. It's not a profession for everybody, but for those willing to take the oath, it can be very gratifying. My beginning days as a volunteer firefighter were pretty unique to me because I never knew volunteers even existed. I thought paid departments were the only thing that there were. I thought guys were there 24 hours a day, they get a call, they respond, out the door they go. So you can imagine whenever I walked into the volunteer fire department for the first time, it was definitely an eye-opener. I remember my small town where I got started at, I remember seeing guys driving around town in their POVs, personally owned vehicles with red lights on the dashes, seeing them walking through stores with their fire t-shirts on and hearing that pager go off. These guys were proud of who they were, and they were proud that they were serving their community. Eventually I got the opportunity to speak with one of the firemen, and he invited me to a Tuesday night meeting. When I got up there to the fire station, I walked through those doors and I seen something I'd never seen before. There was trophies all over the place that had competition written on them, first, second, third, and it didn't matter to these guys because all they cared about was the fact that they were a team. There was pictures on the walls from the fire scenes, their fire lingo they spoke, the fire trucks out in the bay, and I knew right then that I wanted to be part of that family. And I eventually learned that the family is called a brotherhood. I left that night really excited and got a phone call about 2 weeks later from the fire chief inviting me to come back up. Once I got back up there, they gave me a position in the fire department and issued gear to me and a fire pager. One of the pieces of equipment that stood out to me the most was the fire helmet. I later learned that it signifies who we are and is very unique to any other helmet. Its shape and style is based on tradition. And this is the fire helmet that I have. It's a traditional style, and you'll see a lot of these now in the fire service still today. Leather front, it's got the eagle where my fingers are at. So it's pretty unique. And as I was coming up through the fire service and the volunteer organization, I learned what it was to stretch in line. I learned about why you went in for searches and how to look for possible victims, CPR in the event that somebody's in cardiac arrest. So those things were exciting and interesting. Eventually I became a driver and then moved up to a company officer level position. And I learned that being a company officer is not that easy. Not only are you reading the maps, you're talking on the radio, you're setting up incident command, but now you got to deal with all those personalities in the fire department. And you can't always make everybody happy, and I learned that firsthand. The last department I served in ended up becoming a combination department. It started off as volunteer and ended up becoming a combination, meaning that you had volunteer and career firefighters working together. It was something new to me as well because I was used to getting a call or toned out at the house, having to drive up to the fire station to pick up a fire truck, waiting on guys, or if nobody showed up, it would be driver only. That means by yourself. And now I had these 4 guys sitting there ready to respond. As soon as the tones went out the door we went on the call. So that was very unique. I got hired on the second round with this department, and I worked Monday through Friday, 7 to 4. I went to PJC for the fire academy at night, and the fire academy lasted 7 months. And also as a career firefighter, I had the chance to receive some spectacular training. We had guys come in from FDNY and teach us advanced classes to include engine, truck company work, RIT operations, advanced search. Also, the department I worked for would send guys out of town to get them some technical experience, maybe some specialty areas like trench, confined space. But the department that I worked for believed in that motto of being combat ready. And combat ready means that when you get to work in the morning, your gear's checked off, your equipment's ready to go, you know it's going to work when you get that call. Same thing applies to the military. You're not going to send them out to war with a gun without bullets. It doesn't make any sense. The fire service has a lot of tradition-based standards. Both career and volunteer firefighters put their lives on the line every day, serving communities throughout the country, and I think we all agree on that. The one incident that sticks out in my mind the most is September 11, 2001, when we lost 343 of our brothers and sisters in the Twin Towers in the hopes of saving others. The community has to remember, or citizens have to remember, that it's not always what we do, it's what we might have to do when we hear the cry out for help. Thank you very much.